Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Round Up. For the first time in a while, the board is full to the point where I actually had to swap some teams. That's why up here the teams are so close together because there's more news than we've had in a long time in one day. The LPL ball started moving. We have some LCS news to go over, a little bit of LEC, so let's get into it. LGD allowed a couple players to go over the last 24 hours or so. Fearness, who split time in top lane with Garvey. Garvey is also out. Fearness, 249 KDA, 806 CS per minute, 56.4 KP. 22-4 kill share, 22 gold share, 11 champions in 35 games, only 20 years old. Towards the end of the split, Fearness did get better. If I recall correctly, there were some games where Fearness stuck out and played very well, but otherwise he was a little bit, fresh, raw, not very good. LGD stunk, and definitely top lane was part of it. Yeg in mid, another issue, 238 KDA, 774 CS per minute, 56.4 KP as well, 15.7 kill share, 20.6 gold share, 11 champions in 19 games, 21 years old. This guy I don't think is very good. I thought Hai Chow was a lot better than him during summer, if I recall correctly, if I think back to the LGD games. The numbers definitely support that opinion. 774 CS per minute is pretty bad, even in a very good region. You'd like it to be a lot higher than that. I mean, you're giving up a lot of farm. Your top laner is actually out farming you, getting more gold than you. It's not a good situation. So, LGD retooling a bit. I don't know what roster they're going to have next year. Obviously, the LPL ball just started rolling today. So, I imagine they're going to probably pick up the leftovers. Speaking of another team that probably is going to do a little bit of that, but are rumored to be going after Teddy and others, is Ultra Prime. Ultra Prime Cryan was allowed to walk. Cryan, the mid laner, 256 KDA, 808 CS per minute, 68 KP, 22.9 kill share, 21.8 gold share, 10 champions in 38 games, 22 years old. Cryan, formerly of RNG, still in their prime. Definitely LPL level mid laner, but Ultra Prime was not very good. Cryan, definitely part of that. You'd like those numbers to be better. I think in a better situation where he isn't a secondary carry, things would be better, because alongside him you had Zoom in the top lane. So both of these teams allowed their solo laners to go. Zoom, 2 KDA, 8.4 CS per minute, 61.6 KP. Those numbers are really good. Zoom is still good in lane. 19.8 kill share, 22.4 gold share, 14 champions, 36 games, 25 years old. Zoom is not bad. Is he what he once was? Probably not. He's going to start losing his hands probably soon, but he's going to make up for it with the knowledge within matchups. 8.4 CS per minute is very good. He's ahead in his matchups more often than not. The 2 KDA, he's dying a lot. Ultra Prime was dying a lot. Hacker, I'm not a big fan of him in the jungle. Elk, I do like in the bot lane, but they were going back and forth between Xiaoxi and Mianu at support. I believe Xiaoxi was their support. It didn't work out for them. There were a couple teams in that area, where it was like, oh, well, they've got some pieces here. Are they going to be better? And it didn't work out. Because Ultra Prime had a lot of different top laners. I think they had allies and they had somebody else. ZS, in spring. And then Zoom gets kicked out of top because Wayward takes over and Zoom needs a job. Zoom goes to Ultra Prime, and he probably wasn't the reason why they lost. I think Hacker had a lot to do with that. G2, I think I've went over this before, but it became official on Leaguepedia that Yankos is allowed to walk now. We know that he's probably going to Heretics, but when we get there, we get there. 3 KDA, 491 CS per minute, 69.2 KP, 21.5 kill share, 17.8 gold share in 10 games in the LEC playoffs, 27 years old. He's seen better days. Definitely on the latter stages of his career. It is what it is. He's a facilitator now. He is not a carry. There were moments throughout the split where he did have, things going on that were like, oh, well, that's surprisingly good. Like, he was playing some good games. And then there are other games where it's just like, this is what Jankos is at this point in his career. They had a video actually go out. G2 had a video go out. So if you missed that, I mean, I'm not a big person on watching videos like that, especially putting up reactionary content. That's a thing. 100 Thieves announced their roster. So Closer is the one that stays back, so I'm not going to talk about him. Tenacity was brought up from their academy team. 331 KDA, 954 CS per minute. That is a big number for a solo laner, let alone a top laner. 54.3 KP, 21.1 kill share, 23.7 gold share, 15 champions in 36 games, is freshly 19 years old in academy. So, Tenacity looks nasty. And it makes a lot of sense that 100 Thieves kind of contract prisoned him a bit. The last year or so, he's been a sixth man at times. I believe he actually has played some LCS games already in his career. And if he's only 19 now, that means he was like 17, 18 when he did that. So there's a lot of growth here. And Tenacity could be a nasty player for them this coming split. There are going to be some problems, and people are going to, criticize them and say, oh, this was, NA talent, the best NA talent in top lane, looking to make mistakes. And it's like everybody makes mistakes, but growth is going to be a big key to this. Those numbers are disgusting, though. 9.5 CS per minute is just absolutely disgusting. Buzio, I am a fan of Buzio after seeing him in Champions Queue a bit. Definitely an eccentric player that's willing to play a lot of different things. Was an MVP, I believe, either finals, playoffs, or the split in academy. 455 KDA, 70.8 KP, 13 champions, 30 games, 19 years old as well. These two players are the key to 100 Thieves' success. I am of the belief that 100 Thieves is a 4th to 6th place team. Tier lists come out when the rosters are all done, but I do not think 100 Thieves is a world beater by any means. I do not think they're going to win the split. I think about how EG was. You had Impact, you had Vulcan. You have Inspired, who's a young player but's cracked, so you don't really have to worry about that. Jojo, Pune, Danny. You're bringing these two guys up. Hopefully, they can grow and improve with the help of Impact, Vulcan, and a good player alongside them. Really, 100 Thieves is doing the same thing, just with a top laner and a support instead. Because they add Double Lift and Bjergsen in the two key roles. So, that's kind of the deal here. Bjerg, 5.9 KDA, 802 CS per minute, 75.3 KP, 20 kill share, 21.6 gold share, 9 champions in 19 games in the LCS playoffs. He is 26 years old. So, I said this when Bjerg got dumped by TL. These numbers are deceiving. That 75 KP does not make up for the 8 CS per minute, which is usually the case with a lot of players that I look at in the mid lane. Why? If you watch them, TL played a very slow game that wasn't actually very fight heavy. So he was involved in the fights when they had them, but they didn't have a lot of them. There was no aggression to this team. I felt Bjerg was very passive. And with this team, with a couple young guys, I think they're going to have to put the pedal to the metal. I don't think they're going to be able to play slow. And it's going to be a matter of, is everybody just going to conform to the way Bjerg and Doublelift see the game? It's possible or not. Doublelift joins. These stats are from 2020 playoffs. 439 KDA, 915 CS per minute, 68.5 KP, 28.4 kill share, 23.4 gold share, 5 champions at 25 games. Senna was played in 7 of those, some of them fasting, some of them not, if I looked at the numbers correctly. But these numbers are from 2020. Might as well just wipe your butt with them. He's 30 years old this year. He's a little, this is a thing. So, it's a thing. It's a thing. Unforgiven's is backup, so that is a thing. A lot of people think Unforgiven got screwed. I say it every time it comes up. Unforgiven did not get screwed. Mad Lions screwed, 100 Thieves did not screw Unforgiven. Mad Lions and the LEC screwed Unforgiven. So, Doublelift, we'll see what happens with that, and brings along Buzio. That is the important part to this. Top Esports. So, big news. Top Esports rookie is leaving Victory 5. He goes to Top to join Jackie Love and TN. Both players are re-upping their contracts, so you have to imagine Wayward, I believe, is not a free agent, so Wayward's still there. And then Mark is still there. 593 KDA, 8.81 CS per minute, 70.7 KP, 26.6 kill share, 21.8 gold share, 8 champions in 25 games, 25 years old. Rookie is what he is at this point. The guy just had some surgery in, he posted on Twitter, I mentioned it yesterday in my mid video. I don't know how much that affected him. He had to get surgery, so I could see that that issue that he had surgery for affecting you because it has to do with sitting down and playing the game. These numbers aren't great. We have to also remember that in the beginning of the split, he was away from the team, dealing with personal things in Korea, and came back and played. Dreams, I thought, did a fabulous job with Victory 5. They're going with him, I believe, for the upcoming year, and that's exciting. But it's really hard to look at these numbers and not think that Rookie did not play his best. Rookie, I think, I put him in my top 5 yesterday. I'm pretty sure. See, it's one day after another. I did my bot laners today, and tomorrow I won't even remember them. So it is what it is. I think Rookie is at a point now where he is what he is. He's not going to get better. Hopefully his experience helps, close the deal that Top could not figure out this past year at Worlds, right? So, speaking of Top, again, JDG, Knight, Top's mid laner. Knight was number 2 yesterday. I know that. So, JDG have made some moves. The rumored roster is true. 369, Kanavi, Knight, Ruler, missing. This team is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So, Knight, 395 KDA, 834 CS per minute, 69.1 KP, 24.4 kill share, 21.8 gold share, 9 champions in 18 games, 22 years old. Still only 22 years old. These were playoff numbers, so keep that in mind. Playoff numbers, you're against the best of the best. He's playing against literally great mid laners in the LPL that entire time, pretty much. So, Knight's cracked. How's he going to do alongside Kanavi? Remains to be seen. I do not know how Knight was pre-TN, really. But I will say TN is not Kanavi by any means. They play very different styles, at least from my vantage point. So, we'll see how this goes. I don't see Kanavi playing like TN. I really don't. And that might not vibe with Knight. There's a possibility it might just not vibe. Ruler. One of the best, if not one of the best 80 carries ever. I had him number 2 in today's video. 605 KDA, 926 CS per minute, 66.5 KP, 31 kill share, 24.2 gold share, 9 champions in 16 games, 23 years old. Ruler is, oh, by the way, those numbers are from Worlds. There is a Senna game in there. We'll never forget Lahen's inting Gen G with his singed. Ruler, it's Ruler. So JDG actually gives me heavy Gen G vibes from last year, right? This past year. Chovy, Ruler, Lahen's, very good. Missing has proven, at least in the past meta, to be outstanding. He did have moments where he looked good as well in other metas. So they're good. 369 was the top 5 player. Literally, there is a chance that they have all 5 roles. They have a top 5 player in them, at least for me. We'll talk about support tomorrow. So you can't get much better than this. You really can't. And it's a matter of is it going to be too many cooks in the kitchen? Are they going to be able to vibe? Are they going to figure out a way to play the game the proper way? Is there always going to be somebody that can't be the star? And all of them are stars. So it's going to be a real interesting thing. It's going to be really exciting. I think that spring is not when JDG is going to thrive. It's more of a summer thing. Depending on how much movement occurs. Right now, there might be a ton of movement in the LPL, I guess, so everybody might need some time to vibe. But as of right now, I expect JDG to be better in summer than spring. And FlyQuest, Isla, joins from Team Liquid, 328 KDA, 65.6 KPs, 3 champions in 7 games. These are LCS numbers from spring. 23 years old, so he is not super young. He is what he is, and that is apparently an LCS level support. I thought he did solid in the games he played in Lock-In and in this event, not in this event, in spring, when Core was dealing with visa issues and Hans was dealing with visa issues. They had a big mess going on with Liquid and visa problems. See how he does. Winsome is behind him, and Prince is alongside him. Now, Vikla. I'm a big Vikla fan. I thought Vikla was definitely Rookie of the Year with KT. I thought Cal also played a great split, so great year. We have to remember that and give him his flowers. But Vikla is pretty damn good. He's pretty damn good, and I really have no clue why KT allowed him to go. I feel like it had money. I mean, money had something to do with it, because you look at this KT roster, and BDD is a bigger risk than Vikla at this point, based on how they played the last year. And Vikla, 398 KDA, 879 CS per minute, 68.2 KP, 17.6 kill share, 22 gold share, 10 champions in 36 games with KT, and is 19 years old freshly. He was 18 years old when he put up these numbers. Like, that is a building block. Like Papa Smithy posted on Twitter, we built our roster around Vikla, not Prince. He said it about Vikla, right? That's a big deal. Vikla could be a gem. He really could. That for some reason Korea allowed to get away. And it's going to be exciting. This FlyQuest roster is exciting. It's really mind-blowing how they've built this roster. It's essentially Korean speaking. If they can teach some Korean, and swap Winsome for Isla, and you have a Korean roster, Korean speaking roster. Sorry, not Korean roster. So it's exciting. Vikla's exciting. It's going to be interesting. Similar to the JDG situation, I'm actually hedging my bets on FlyQuest and TL for that matter to actually win spring. Some people are going to be like, the thing is with the league community, it's very what have you done for me lately? And very impatient and very hyperbolic, exaggerate a lot of things. Everything is exaggerated. It's really hard to find a take that is based in reality 100% that isn't super biased or just hyperbolic. And I think if Fly hits a snag in the beginning and struggles in spring at times and doesn't, definitely going to be a playoff team. If they're not a playoff team, that's a problem. And if they're not one of the top teams, it's a problem. But I could see them losing, right? And I feel like some people would condemn the LCS, North America, and things like that for it. But that stuff doesn't happen right away. You've got all these players that don't play together. None of them have played together. Have to figure it out. And that may take months. It's just a thing that happens. That's life. So, we'll see how that goes. So, thank you for watching. If you missed my video earlier today, I went over my top 5 bot laners. Tomorrow I'll have supports up. And if you've been, if you have partaken in my streams, you will know that Jinx Aphelios, I've been working on the stats for that, and I completed all the stats and data mining for that. So I'm going to set up the board either tomorrow or Sunday and record that for this weekend. So that'll come up this weekend. As of right now, tomorrow the support video will go up, but there could be more news to talk about as well. So thank you for watching. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube member. $3 a month keeps the channel alive. $10 a month. You get a badge in the comment section, in the chat when we do streams. You get extra content, NFL American football content. A video like that's going out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching.